Welcome back to the Sanctuary, Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail, and the Magical Range DPS quest. Cruisenick X here. Last episode, we met with Tepeke, who's searching for the apex of the... Oh, the perch of the apex. That it has been stolen by someone known only as the Justiciar. And last episode, we had more questions than answers. We still don't know what the apex of the perch of the apex does exactly, except for one vague mystery about bringing prosperity to the wielder, but misfortune to everyone else. It's all very vague right now. But before we move on to the next quest in our journey, we have to spin the Wheel of Mages. So, last episode, we got Red Mage. So, only 3 jobs left to show off. So, let's see what we're doing this time. Ah, Black Mage. All right. Black Mage... Let me just say one thing about the Black Mage gear before I glamour it. I like the look of the overall attire. What I'm not a big fan of is the staff. Don't get me wrong. I like cats. I'd like to think that there are certain cats who like me. But having a cat on top of my staff, probably not my cup of tea. Anyway, time to glamour it. Oh yeah, did I do the same thing with Red Mage? Did I do it with Red Mage? Where's Red Mage? No, I did not link the glamour plate. Well, might as well do it now. No better time to do so. And with Black Mage, I am going to link this one. And there we go. Heh. Did I use the wrong one again? Yeah, I used the wrong one. We'll have to tolerate the cat one for a little while longer while I edit, while I edit a few things. For now, though, let's talk to Tepeke and complete the next quest in our journey, the level 92 quest, A Brand of Justice. Ah, Chris. I'm afraid there have been some developments that are less than encouragement. Chris, I'm afraid there have been some developments that are less than encouraging. News of the Justiciar's actions have spread throughout the city. And with each retelling, his deeds become even more valorous. The younger citizens in particular seem to view him as something of an idol. Despite the creatures he hunts posing no real danger, he would paint them as mighty beasts in need of felling. Of course, the Radiant hosts are far too busy to trouble themselves culling every pest that casts a sideways glance at the city's gates. Yet the Justiciar has twisted circumstances to his advantage. He proclaims to anyone who will listen that the Radiant hosts shrink with terror before these beasts, and that he's the only one who can eradicate them. Though you might expect such claims to be dismissed as wild ramblings, it seems no few people have fallen for his ploy. The whispers of his exploits among the youth have practically grown into a clamor. Yet we mustn't be discouraged, for his increasing fame only makes it easier for us to sniff out his trail. And where better to start than Razatan? I'll see you there, Chris. Yep, back to Razatan. You know what? No. First... You know, we're gonna make a quick side trek. First, we're gonna go to Old Charlian so I can fix my mistake. And normally I don't do this, but thankfully I have quick load times. Now let's change to the proper staff. You know what, while we're here, let's change some things around. Yeah, no. Both dies need to be black. Actually, maybe not those. Nah, not those. Nope. Let's just go this die. Save, apply. And soon enough, we will be able to switch my die to something else. But for now, I like this look. Back to Ratatan. All right, where is she? There she is. Given how large the city is, let's split up to cover more ground. I already have a destination in mind. The High Crucible. I hear the alchemists there can concoct all manner of tinctures and powders, including those which help in detecting the traces of energies left behind by magics and enchanted tools. Fallen rocks have invariably marked locations where the Justiciar has performed one of his feats, and I believe an alchemical mixture can help us determine if their presence is the work of the treasure. I'm hardly an expert on such concoctions though, so I'll seek advice at the High Crucible. While I'm doing that, I would ask that you go to the Hall of the Radiant Host and see if they have any new information on the Justiciar's whereabouts. Does that plan sound agreeable to you? Great! Now that we both have our tasks, let's get to them. I'll meet you back here once my business is done. Hey, Arya. Oh, I totally forgot to... Oh. Hold on a sec. I forgot to voice in video, switch to my Yeti X microphone, and my headset. What's up? Maybe needs yeah, that is why I always check for updates when I first log in. Oh wait, no, that's not the Hall of the Radiant Host. There's the Hall of the Radiant Host. Hey, the Selenite Voidson is still here. Anyway, let's talk to this preoccupied guy. I'm tired of hearing about this justiciar. His popularity among the city's younglings is quickly becoming a cause for concern. Try as we might to refute his claims that the Radiant Host are allowing monstrous beasts to run amok unchecked. You know how young minds are impressionable and difficult to change one set. We initially disregarded him as a boastful eccentric, but his alarming sway over the populace can no longer be ignored. We are at present considering whether to open a formal investigation into his activities. You and this ally of yours have done well in your search thus far. You even have a working theory about the falling stones. Quite impressive. Several of our number have encountered him during our patrols, only to lose sight of him under a hail of rocks. Such incidents have become all too frequent, and many in our ranks demand we act. For now, I'm afraid this is all the help I can offer. Please share what I told you with your companion. Together, we may yet unmask the justiciar. I sure as shit hope so. Back to Aetheryte Plaza. So, what shenanigans are you getting? Are you trying to log back in? Alright, Tepeke? It's heartening to know that the Radiant Hosts are taking this seriously. Thank you for speaking with them, Chris. I have good tidings as well. I explained the situation to the alchemist, and they provided a powder that should help detect traces of magic in the surrounding environment. I say help because the powder reacts only faintly on its own. To function properly, it requires the skills of one practiced in the arcane arts. Luckily, I have you. I've committed the locations of all sightings of the Justiciar to memory. And the closest to us was at the Perfumed Rise. Let's hope this powder works as intended. All right, where's the perfumed? Okay, near the Great Work. Let's fly. Oh, by the way, babe, so for those of you just joining us who have not been paying attention so much, Arya Stormborn just got a new laptop. But I meant to ask, how's the wait? All right, let's talk to Tepeke. The Justiciar was sighted near here, and I didn't see any other conspicuous stones around, so I sprinkled the powder over this one. Now, concentrate your focus or inner eye or whatever it is that's the locus of your power, and see if you can't detect any unnatural forces. This will be interesting to see. So, were you able to detect anything?
Yep.
I knew you could do it! So, because there are no crystals in the rock, the energy you detected must be the remnants of some kind of spell, is that right? And taking the story of the Radiant we rescued previously into account, we can conclude that the Justiciar uses the treasure to call those stones down from the sky. At least we now have an inkling of its true nature. Even so, not every question has been answered. The Radiant told us that even as the Justiciar stood before the treasure, he seemed to have trouble calling forth the Apex's power at first. My father once said that the perch of the Apex is much like the wand he used to weave his magics. Of course, the main difference between them is the unique nature of the essence stored within the treasure. I know little of such arcane instruments, but you must be quite familiar with them. How do you use yours?
I channel ether into it.
I see. Even with the right instrument, spellcasting requires the use of specific techniques. The Justiciar seems to lack any such expertise, so how did he tap into the treasure's power? I suppose the perch of the Apex possesses some unique method of activation. When I spoke to the representatives of the other tribes about their treasures, no one mentioned special techniques being required. Not that the relics should have much in common to begin with.
Yoto, did you see an Ori girl pass through here by herself?
I'm afraid not. What happened?
Wait. I recognize you both. The hero of the final days in our recent visitor from Taral. Apologies for the imposition, but may I beg your assistance? It's all that Justiciar's fault. The girl said she was off to join that fool's crusade and ran out of Yellemad before anyone could stop her. Her mother begged us to find her, but if she's following the Justiciar, she could be anywhere. You see, he's been sighted at your location scattered all over Tavner.
We can't stand here looking at rocks while a girl is in danger, especially if the Justiciar is involved. We have to help!
That'd be much appreciated. We're searching places where the Justiciar's been spotted before, so perhaps you could start where he hasn't been seen.
Good idea. As far as I know, he hasn't been sighted at the northern shores. Come on, Chris.
All right, and we take flight. There's the northern shores. There's Tepeke. And there's our location. All right, let's see if I can do this. Ooh, that flare star just hits different. Nice. All right. There's the Audrey girl.
I heard fighting, so I came as fast as I could. It's a good thing you arrived in time to save the girl. Thank you, mister. Thank you. I'm glad you're safe, but your mother must be worried sick. You shouldn't wander off like that, especially not to look for a trickster like the Justiciar. What? You mean he's a bad man? Yes, exactly. He stole an important treasure from my village, and now he's using it to make himself look brave. But he needs it to kill the monsters, to protect us. That's no excuse for stealing. He might have fooled you, younglings, but the Radiant hosts know what he's up to. But he said he'd save us from the monsters. He's our hero. The Radiant said we shouldn't be scared. But we all know the Justiciar is the one who keeps us safe. We don't need the Radiant anymore.
No hero can save the world alone.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't say bad things about the Radiant. They protected everyone in the final days, I guess. I forgot how much they care about us. I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that after all you've been through. You said the Justiciar is a thief and a trickster, but I hope it's not true. He's my hero. Well, I'd best escort her back to Yedlamad. I'll meet you there later, Chris.
All right, back to Yedlamad. Seems like this is gonna be our central base of operations for this whole quest line. Tepeke?
The girl and her mother are reunited, and I think we can both give ourselves a pat on the back. They're on their way now to inform the Radiant host that all is well. I would like to apologize for before. I let my emotions get the better of me and harangued that poor girl when she was hardly to blame for anything. I really should have been scolding myself. Chris, there's something I neglected to tell you before. The man who now calls himself the Justiciar came to us in the guise of a worldly merchant. He was eager to ask about the perch of the Apex and its history, and I was equally eager to tell him, not even considering what he might do with the information. I'm so proud of my father for being appointed as its guardian. I suppose I was trying to impress this stranger out of sheer vanity. That vanity led to my father being attacked and the treasure being stolen from under our noses. I have no choice but to make amends for my mistake and bring it back. Yet some people are convinced that the Justiciar acts only to serve the greater good. I couldn't accept that he might not be as rotten as I thought, and I lashed out at the wrong person. From now on, I can't let my emotions cloud my judgment. I must remain calm and look at the facts for what they are. And the facts say that the Justiciar has done no harm to the people of Thabnair. Even so, the organization he serves, the Passage of the Unbound, is evil to its very core. If his actions at my village are not villainy, I don't know what is. The situation is fraught with contradictions. I still don't know what to think. What about you, Chris?
Even if he hasn't attacked anyone, his actions are stirring unrest.
I agree. He speaks of justice and heroism with great bluster, but there's something we're missing. Thank you, Chris, for your wise words. I sometimes find it difficult to keep my heart from skewing my perspective, so I'm grateful that you're here to help me see clearly. So, it seems our objective is unchanged. We track down the man who stole my people's sacred treasure. Whatever his intentions may be, unraveling them becomes secondary to finding the man himself. I'll continue to pour my every effort into the search, so stop by from time to time and I may have something new to share with you.
Another quest in the books. Our next quest will be the level 94 quest the Seeds of Popularity. But for right now, we're going to take a quick break. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, here are all the links to get you where you need to go. See you in a bit.